they're a team that's leaving a lot of points on the board, and maybe DeAndre Hopkins can help their red zone efficiency in particular. But they obviously have some big problems as well. But yeah, what do you think about basically DeAndre Hopkins coming in and replacing Marquise Brown, and they also bring in Robbie Anderson?
I feel like Robbie Anderson's there to replace Marquise Brown as their shot play guy, and Hopkins is there to help provide stability and move the chains. But they've got a terrible offensive line. They've got a quarterback who's missing wide open receivers and is throwing off target. They've got a coach that's not coming up with innovative ways to move the chains. I'm nervous about these guys, and not that we're starting Robbie Anderson, but Rondale safe for 10 to 14 PPR points per game. I think Hopkins can beat that most weeks, but maybe not by much. Brown's injury, I think, just kicked the door down for Zach Ertz to be helpful rest of season, but we'll see. I'm not ready to guarantee that he's going to be 10 to 13 PPR points per game the rest of the way, but I think he could be better now. And I think he's just been among the most reliable short area targets for the Arizona offense. And they need that because they can't protect Kyler at all. It's an ugly offense, and I'm nervous about him. There's a part of me that wants to sell high on Hopkins. Just I don't know if he's going to be what he was 2 years ago, much less last year. I wonder if I could get something decent for him before he even takes a snap.
It's definitely a good call to sell high on Hopkins. It could be name over game at this point. Mm-hmm. I think the funny thing about Kyler is if you were to say before last week's game, and granted, he should have had a monster game against Seattle, but if you were to say before last week's game, he's going to throw for 222 yards and run for 100 yards, you would sign up for that 10 out of 10 because it should have led to a dominant performance. All he needed was, clearly a couple of touchdowns to put him in the top 5 at the position, even with the interception. But the thing about this receiving core now is it's almost essentially totally different, with two guys coming in and one guy coming out. Now, obviously there's a familiarity and rapport with Hopkins for Murray. So hopefully there's some semblance of continuity that they don't have to, pick up or relearn, anything, they can just pick up where they left off. So I think Hopkins can still be a serviceable number 2 receiver, especially this week with all the guys on a bye. So I'm going to start him this week right out of the gate, depending on what my receiver core looks like in a 3 receiver league. I think the thing about Robbie is that there'll be a big game, 3 bad games, a good game, 2 disappointing games. He's just going to be that type of player, which is what he's been his entire career. I still think Rondale Moore is going to be fine because I think with the way the offensive line is and the way Kyler's looking for him, that position, again, going back to Greg Dortch, it should be safe. Zach Ertz should be safe. And then I was encouraged by the workload for Benjamin, and not the production, but, the offensive line is not going to help him. But I think if you're getting that amount of work for him moving forward, he's still in the number 2 running back discussion.
I swear this just happened. I just got offered in a 10-team Superflex league. I just got offered Aaron Jones for DeAndre Hopkins, and I am going to hit accept on that immediately.
Smart. Perfect.
Yeah. And I share this team with Heath, but he has basically given up because we're the worst team in the world. So I'm going to make an exec. Oh, wait. Yeah. I have DeAndre Hopkins, right? I'm getting Aaron Jones.
Yeah. I'm Ron Burgundy.
I just want to make sure I got my teams confused here. Yeah. All right. So anyway, that's happening. Okay. Speaking of Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers wants him to get more touches, and Aaron Rodgers wants them to simplify the offense. And I feel like I'm making a mistake here, and I'm giving up Aaron Jones for Hopkins. But no, I have Hopkins, right? Okay.
You can't be acquiring somebody that somebody made you a trade offer. I'm talking to AJ Dillon in about 2 hours, so I'm going to ask him about the offense.
Ask him what it's like to be on the bench because that's where he's going to be.
We'll see.
So yeah, they want to get Aaron Jones more involved. They want to simplify the offense. Randall Cobb is going to be out a while. I'm not going to go through all these news items here. I gave you the big ones earlier in the show. I'm just going to ask you: drop or hold Marquise Brown?
I'm going to guess he goes on IR, so I would try and hold him if you have an IR spot. But if you don't and your team is struggling, then you probably need to drop him.
Agreed.